Ugh, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being their punching bag, and now they got that third guy in here, and he's no better. That's it. I've had enough. I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm leaving. And wait a minute. I better tell everybody why I'm leaving, because if I don't, they'll tell everybody. Everybody needs to know I've been their punching bag, and that I have rights too. Yeah. So I'm gonna write them a letter. Let me see, a letter. Let's see, open pages. Okay, so how should I begin? Ah, yes. When two people, or three or four or whatever, decide they're no longer going to work together because the others are evil, I need to tell the world why. So, let me see here. So, let's see. Dear Mr. No, I will no longer use their first names or their last names. They are not worthy. They are now pronouns. Yes, they will be nothing more than pronouns. They are they only. So, let me see. They no longer protect my rights, no longer protect me. Therefore, I am going to tell the world why I'm going to separate. Now, all the reasons why. Why do I dislike them? Oh, let me count the ways. Because they keep ripping off my arms, my eyes, my nose. They. More they. There we go, 27. That should be good. So, now, the next thing. I know. And now, everybody needs to know, I'm no longer in their employ. You can now come employ me. Yes, it's perfect. It's perfect. I can... Oh, hi, Mr. Casey. Hey. What you doing, Doug? Oh, I'm just writing a letter. Yeah, a letter. Who are you writing it to, Doug? The world. Why would you write the world a letter? 'Cause I had something important to say. Oh, really? Let me read this letter. Okay. They. Oh. So you think you're leaving? No. I was just playing around and trying to recreate the Declaration of Independence. Oh. So you're plagiarizing! No, don't hurt me. Okay. But you're never leaving. Yes, sir. So, get back in the box, Doug! Oh, okay, get back in the box, Doug! Hey, this is actually pretty good. Hey, I could use... Delete. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can probably tell from what Doug's been dealing with here lately, we're going to be dealing with the Declaration of Independence. Now, with the Declaration of Independence, think about this as a Dear John letter, where the colonists are breaking up with the king. Now, we don't use letters very often anymore. We normally end up using either text or social media, and you've probably all seen where somebody actually is cruel enough to break up with somebody on social media. You know, they Snapchat, or they change their status without telling the other person. Oftentimes they may go on and they may put the really long post complaining about how evil and heartless and he doesn't give me flowers anymore on the line for everybody to see, because they want everyone to be on their side and not on the other person's side. That's what the Declaration of Independence is. They're basically telling the rest of the world, the king is nuts! We're leaving him. And they're even kind of cruel about it, because they don't even friend zone him. They block, and then they tell the world what they think about it. So remember that our standard wants us to take a look at the three parts of the Declaration of Independence, and those three parts are the preamble, the grievances, and the declaration. So let's take a look first at the preamble. If you notice up here on the screen behind me, you have the preamble. The way that this is worded, understand that they are talking to the entire world. They are not just talking to King of England. And in fact, they will not even want to mention his name. They hate him so much. So notice up here it says the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America, hence our name. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation. Yeah, Thomas Jefferson could be a little wordy. He could also be a little, I'm smarter than you, with his writing. But also remember, this is 1776, so their language is a little different. So let me put this into 8th grader ease. When you break up with somebody, you tell everybody else why you're breaking up with them. Right? Right? I mean, they're going to come ask anyway, because they want to know. They want the tea to be spilled all over the place. Now we're into the part of the preamble that everyone knows. Take a look on the screen right now. It says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Okay, well, first of all, unalienable means they can't take it away from you. God's given it to you. Man's not supposed to take it away from you. Life, they can't kill you. Liberty, they can't lock you up and take away your freedom. Pursuit of happiness. I don't know. What is my pursuit of happiness? Doing 150 down the interstate? I'd get locked up for that. Actually, when you look into what they wrote, we actually have the first draft of this. Thomas Jefferson was writing in a committee, and in the first draft, what Thomas Jefferson actually put in there was the right to property. But does everybody own land? No. So they had him take that out, and what they added in was pursuit of happiness. It's kind of one of those catch-all phrases. It could mean almost anything, but please, 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 do not go into a court of law and say you did it in your pursuit of happiness, because this is no longer a legally binding document. It's an announcement. It basically told the world we're no longer part of Great Britain. That's all that it does. Pursuit of happiness will not save you in court. Capiche? Okay, back to the Declaration. And now, notice in the next line that it says that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Basically, we create governments to protect our rights. And then the next line says that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. In other words, you have the right to get rid of bad government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate the government's long established blah, 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 blah. In other words, you just don't destroy a government that's been around for a long time. You have to have good reasons, like, oh, they're taking away your rights. If you skip down, you will notice that they make that statement. And then they will say, such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their form of government. They had not been patiently doing anything. They had been burning people in effigy. They had been tarring and feathering people, pouring tar on them and covering them in feathers. They weren't patient. Our country has been founded upon protest, and oftentimes violent protest at that. It started then. It still has never ended. Anyway, the next thing it says, the history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. In other words, they wrote this document to everyone, not to the King of England. Notice he's referred to in third person, not first. They're presenting all the grievances they have against the King of England. And then they go forth in the next parts and they say, the king has done this, the king has done that, the king has done this, but they don't use the word king. They use he. He. They refuse to say his name. They have basically turned him into a pronoun. Kings do not like to be pronouns. They like to be nouns. Proper nouns. Nouns with capital letters and crowns. They were wanting to tick him off. They were making a point. Okay, they list 27 reasons why they don't like the king. And as they continue going through this, and that was another part of the preamble, but as they continue going through this, they will come in and they'll also end up, after these 27 grievances, end up blaming the British Parliament as well, because the British Parliament had not listened to all of their pleas for help. They will also kind of sort of blame the British people for this as well. But anyway, at the end, if you notice, is the declaration. And here within the declaration, it says, we therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. Basically what they are saying, we're now free. We no longer have to deal with the king. He's no longer our friend. He no longer tells us what to do. We're single. And they're also saying, hey, come do business with us because we need guns, and we used to buy everything from Great Britain. So let's take a look at the next sentence here. The last one, the closing sentence of the Declaration of Independence. It says, and for support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honors. Yeah. Had they lost, every one of these guys would have been charged with treason and hunted down and arrested. And the king, he has special punishments for people that commit treason. It's not a good way to die. But it's a good thing we won, because they all get to live. Yay! And become heroes and presidents and so on and so forth. So think about this, though. With the Declaration of Independence, when they analyzed the handwriting of all these guys who signed the document, they believed that most of them, their hands were shaking, because literally, had they lost, they would have been charged with treason, arrested, and put to death in the worst possible way. But they won. And now we have people like John Hancock, who, because he signed his name so large so the king could see his name without having to put on his glasses, he becomes a hero, a patriot, someone we look up to. He was a smuggler. British saw him as a common criminal before he even signed the document. But hey, we won, and he's a hero, just like all the other guys. Now, let's talk about the three dudes from Georgia who signed the Declaration of Independence. Notice here behind me you have pictures of all three of these gentlemen. First of all was Button Gwinnett, George Walton, and Lyman Hall. Now, all three of these men have counties named in their honor. All three of them at one point served as Georgia's governor, and also had various other leadership positions and government positions for the state of Georgia. Okay, so Button Gwinnett, George Walton, and Lyman Hall. Now, your teacher is going to give you a handout. You are to complete this handout about the Declaration of Independence. There are questions to answer. Have fun. So, Doug, I hear you like the Declaration of Independence. So you must like the Revolutionary War. Yes, yes. You ever heard of the Hamilton musical? Yes, yes. Well, there's a song from Hamilton that I really, really enjoy, and I think it's fitting for what we're doing. Maestro, my music.
You say the price of my love is not a price that you're willing to pay. You cry in your tea, which you hurl in the sea when you see me go by. Why so sad? Remember we made an arrangement when you went away. Now you're making me mad. Remember, despite our estrangement, I'm your man. You'll be back, soon you'll see. You remember you belong to me. You'll be back, time will tell. You remember that I served you well. Oceans rise, empires fall. We have seen each other through it all. And when push comes to shove, I will send a fully armed battalion to remind you of my love. Da 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 subject, 'cause you're my favorite subject, my sweet submissive subject, my loyal royal subject, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You'll be back like before. I will fight the fight and win the war, for your love, for your praise, and I'll love you till my dying days. When you're gone, I'll go mad, so don't throw away this thing we had. 'Cause when push comes to shove, I will kill your friends and family to remind you of my love. Da 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 da. Da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da.